What's up, guys? So, a lot of people have been asking me how I got to stay in the sus house this past week, and that's what I'm going to cover in this video, so stay tuned. Also, a quick note, the background of this video is just a bunch of TikToks, pictures, and a few videos that I made while in Houston. So, if you do follow my TikTok, you've probably seen this. But I just wanted to use that as a background for this video. So, if you didn't know, this is the kind of stuff that I was talking about, the kind of stuff that I did while I was in Houston. It began about 3 weeks ago. Me and my friend Adibanti, we had met up to hang out, and we drove to a park. So we were chilling in the park driveway, and my friend goes, "Oh, we're planning this kind of event. Would you be interested in coming?" At first, it sounded completely absurd because there were going to be a lot of famous people, a lot of famous TikTokers, and I never heard of something of this scale other than the Hype House or something like that. I never thought I'd be part of this because I was barely big on TikTok, barely big on anything like that. So I'll think about it, but in the back of my mind I didn't think it was going to happen. And that's how it was for about the next week. Next week, Adi has begun finalizing some of the plans. Not everything, but kind of sending out invitations, figuring out who's going to be there and stuff. And so we meet again. And he goes, we both know that my parents are not very inclined, I guess, to send me to such a place, and I understand it. We're in the middle of COVID, and it's a whole other country with a bunch of random potential people. So I knew that convincing them was going to be probably one of the biggest challenges, and also the cost of the trip. It seemed that we'd have to pay for the flight tickets, the train tickets, the food, the house, and everything. So it seemed like at the time that I probably would not be going on this trip. Then a couple days later, my friend gets back to me. He goes, "Yo, your tickets, your stay, everything has been covered by a sponsor." I'm like, "Are you sure?" At the time I had 40 followers on TikTok. My Instagram, it had a couple hundred, a few hundred, right? Nothing, not even close to influencer level. And so I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's covered." I'm like, "How?" And he's like, "Oh, I showed them your blog, Ramen Free Finance. I showed them some of the other finance stuff that you've been working on, and they liked it. And they said that, it would be cool to have someone who's into finance stay in this influencer house." So I'm I was still mind boggled. I'm like, "Are you sure? Wouldn't they just want influencers to stay in the house to promote things?" He's like, "No, they think that it'd be interesting to see how, having a finance person along in the house with all these influencers, right, to help keep a track on the budgeting and all of that, that might be beneficial." And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, I might actually be interested, and I might actually want to go to this because, it was kind of a feeling of they want to see me kind of help the work that I've done. They want to see that in action, which means a lot. If a lot of people know that when they've been working hard on something and they've been putting in a lot of time into something, it feels good when it, finally shines, I guess, or it's recognized. So then I have to ask my parents, and that is definitely the hardest part. I'd never asked to go on such a trip before. The only trips I had been on were with the school or with a supervising adult. There would be no adult on this trip. It would be me and my friend traveling and meeting up with other people that were our age living in a mansion. If you could think of anything that could go wrong, there was definitely quite a few things that would pop in a lot of people's mind. But, I'm, very, very, very convinced that I would want to go, that I want to see how it is, and so I keep talking to my parents. I have Adi come over. Adi talks to my parents, and in the end, they actually agree. They make me do a lot of chores. They make me add them on all social media, everything like that, just to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong. But in the end, they do let me go, and I think that was definitely a really good decision because I had a lot of fun there. And that's kind of what I want to do in this video, is I wanted to cover why I was with all these famous influencers, because I myself am not an influencer, so a lot of people were wondering as to why. And even though I'm not an influencer, I made sure I took a decent amount of photos and videos. I got some photos and videos taken by some professional photographers, and I cannot wait to make a video with that. So please, please, please stay tuned, because I'm going to be posting that video as soon as I get the photos and videos from Houston, and we can look at some very cool memories between all the people that stayed. There was a very amazing group of people, and it was definitely worth it, and we definitely had a great time. But yeah, that's basically how I got invited to stay with all of these, TikTok influencer people and, actually make friends and kind of just vibe for the whole week. So thank you for listening, and I hope that answers you guys' questions.